Thank you for watching THP 11 News at noon on this Tuesday, a busy Tuesday at that. I'm Michael Laird with meteorologist Nathan Scott over in the Weather Center. And Nathan, you guys have been keeping a close eye on the forecast all week. The closer we get, the more confident you get about many of us seeing winter weather in the coming days, huh?
Yeah, good afternoon, Michael. We are looking at more data that shows the colder air will arrive here sooner and move further down to the south, going into Wednesday night into Thursday. So for that reason, Winter Storm Watch now has been extended into parts of South Arkansas almost. Hot Spring County, Grant County, it includes all Little Rock Metro. Winter storm warnings have already been posted in the pink in Northwest Arkansas. So here's the breakdown. You can expect winter weather to move in as early as Wednesday afternoon in Northwest Arkansas, but certainly Wednesday evening and throughout the day on Thursday for Little Rock, Hot Springs, Stuttgart to the north, all the purple area. It's likely in the pink area, DeQueen, Arkadelphia, Hampton, Pine Bluff, and even possible well down into southwest Arkansas. We're talking about potential of primarily sleet and freezing rain event. Here's future clouds and radar. Temperatures out there today warm, tomorrow on the warm side, but then the cold air arrives for late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. The Thursday morning rush could be a slick one out there right now. A few spotty showers. I'll have more on the timing and details of this potential winter storm coming up.
All right, Nathan, we'll see you in a few. We want to turn to some news happening right now. Crews are on the scene of what has been a large fire in Mayflower. It's burning at a landfill on the southwest side of town there. THV 11's Mercedes McKay has been on that scene off Highway 365 for several hours. Mercedes, what are you learning?
Michael, there's actually still a lot of unanswered questions here that even authorities don't have the answers to, like what exactly started this fire. Now, as you can see behind me, there's still a lot of smoke out here, and crews have been here for almost 5 hours trying to put this fire out. I actually spoke to the landfill owner who told me he got the call around 7 this morning about the fire. Now, good news is there have been no reported injuries or any damage to equipment here, and that is always good to know. Now, also a couple of hours ago, the owner told me the smoke was actually turning white, which he says is a really good sign because that means they're slowly but surely getting this thing under control. They also have crews out here that are monitoring the air from Mayflower all the way to Conway just to make sure that smoke has no damage to anyone in the area. Now, I also spoke to a neighbor who lives right across the street from the landfill, and she saw the whole thing unfold this morning. Now, her and a couple other neighbors have actually been wanting this landfill moved for a while now. I'll have that story and more details on this fire coming up tonight on THV 11 News at 5 and 6. For now, live in Mayflower, Mercedes McKay, THV 11 News.
All right, Mercedes, new at noon, Little Rock Mayor Frank Scott Jr. has announced his bid for re-election. He held a news conference this morning touting economic growth during his time in office and his response to the coronavirus. Scott faces several opponents. Car salesman Steve Landers and food blogger Greg Henderson have officially entered the mayor's race. Today's announcement comes as Mayor Scott plans to ask the Little Rock City Board to declare a state of emergency to address gun violence in the city. That comes after 10 people were shot in 4 separate incidents over the weekend. In a tweet overnight, the mayor says, quote, "This weekend's unacceptable shootings prove we must do more." He says he wants to address what he calls the root causes of gun violence and provide weekly updates on the issue. We expect Scott will ask for that state of emergency at tonight's city board meeting set for 6 o'clock. We'll have a crew there and keep you updated. On this first day of Black History Month, bomb threats at 2 Arkansas historically black colleges and universities. Philander Smith resumed normal operations at noon after going remote this morning. Authorities have issued an all clear there. Arkansas Baptist College also received a threat. Students and faculty from other HBCUs across the country are reporting new bomb scares today too. Jeff Pegues has the latest from Washington.
Students and staff at Howard University in Washington, D.C. woke up to a new alert of a bomb threat on campus for the second day in a row. The Bison Safe app alerted the community just before 3:30 Tuesday morning as D.C. police investigated multiple areas on the main campus. The FBI and the ATF have been busy investigating 2 other recent threats at historically black colleges and universities across the country since early January.
It's very scary for parents and students and staff as well.
At Bowie State University in Maryland, an order to shelter in place rattled nerves Monday. Other schools that received threats Monday included Albany State University, Southern University, and A&M College, Howard University, Bethune-Cookman University, and Delaware State University.
I will say that these are certainly disturbing, and the White House is in touch with the interagency partners, including federal law enforcement leadership on this.
Are they seeing a lot of threats?
We're just responding to those as we speak.
Acting ATF Director Marvin Richardson spoke exclusively with CBS News.
We have certified explosive specialists who would respond to those scenes, along with our explosive detection K9.
The Congressional Bipartisan HBCU Caucus is calling for a thorough criminal investigation, releasing this statement that reads in part, "We will not let terror disrupt or demean the academic excellence of our HBCUs." It is not clear if the threats received earlier in January are related to this latest batch of threats, but obviously it's something investigators are looking into. Jeff Pegues, CBS News, Washington.
For the second time in less than a week, a Jefferson County student is arrested for threatening to shoot classmates. A 14-year-old student at Watson Chapel is being charged with terroristic threatening after an investigation into social media threats. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says a girl flashed a gun in a social media video over the weekend, which contained threats against fellow students. On Friday, a 15-year-old boy was arrested in connection to shooting threats towards students too. It's unclear right now if the arrests were connected in any way. Following these arrests, Jefferson County Sheriff Lafayette Woods Jr. issued an urgent call to parents saying in part, quote, "Now more than ever, there is an urgent parental responsibility to know where your kids are and what they are involved in every single day and night." Conway voters can vote early starting today in the city's special election. They will decide on 3 bond issues there totaling nearly $40 million. They want to build a new aquatic center, a separate soccer complex, and pay off debt from a bond issue back in 2017. You can vote early at the Faulkner County Courthouse weekdays from 8 to 4:30. Election day is 1 week from today.
Our council has seen the need, and we have had the need for a long time. We are addressing this need at this point, and the rededication of the bonds will allow us to do that, to have a facility for the residents here in Conway.
Early voting runs today through next Monday at the Faulkner County Courthouse. The polls are open from 8 to 4:30, and again, Election Day is next Tuesday. Let's turn to the latest on the fight against COVID-19 in Arkansas. Governor Asa Hutchinson is expected to hold his weekly update today at 1:30, and that comes as the steep drop in COVID cases continued over the weekend. On Monday, health officials reported almost 8,700 new cases, and not for one day, but actually for the entire weekend. We haven't seen a string of days like that since the beginning of the month. Let's look at the numbers. Hospitals remain full with about 1,700 patients holding steady for about a week. 41% of the patients in the ICUs are dealing with COVID. 25 beds are available in those critical units. Finding at-home COVID tests may be challenging depending on where you live. We have some video of those tests, and the Department of Health says there are 2 main ways to get them totally free. The first, check out covidtest.gov. Every home can get 4 tests delivered. The second option, you can order free tests through the Rockefeller Foundation. That website, accesscovidtest.org. Health officials remind us regular testing is one of the best ways to stop the spread of the virus.
So when people have symptoms, we encourage them to stay home and then get tested. If their home test is positive, then they can be pretty sure they have Omicron.
Depending on how sick you are, the test could present as a false negative. In that case, the state medical director, who you heard from right there, says wait a few days, and if your symptoms persist, take another test and make sure you have a really good sample. U.S. officials maintain they want to solve the growing tensions along the Russia-Ukraine border diplomatically. The latest on the high-level talks after this. But first, Nathan is keeping an eye on that winter weather, huh?
Winter storm is likely for most of Arkansas, Michael, going into Wednesday night and Thursday. I'll have more on what we're looking at coming up.